Hello, BK. We'll start in about a second. I'm just trying to launch the YouTube as well, and I'll be with you guys in 1 second, not sooner. There we go. Let's launch it now. All right, here we go. We're running our live both at on TikTok and YouTube. So let's see what we have here from our TikTok friends. And Christijan has his message written here. Thank you for that. And BK says hello, hello back. Don't you forget, guys, please, if you will, just like my YouTube subscribers, when you want to ask a question, let me know your age, gender, where you're tuning in from. Like M for male, F for female, or however you signify your inclination or gender, then age, and then where you're tuning in from, the city that you're tuning. It's pretty cold tonight, so I'm kind of cozy, if you guys don't mind. Not so formal as the other nights because it's just cold. So tonight, as usual, we talk about things to do with thoughts, consciousness, the relationship between the two, fear, desire, how desire is born, and what are the prerequisites for desire to be born, and ego. And then we talk about breakups and why you feel the way you do after a breakup. What is the role that your psyche, your inner movement of your psyche plays in how you feel after breakup? And the things that you need to do to move on from that experience, and what things to watch for, what things to do, what things not to do, things like that. And the other topic would be topic of OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. And we talk about subsets of OCD, such as HOCD and harm OCD, or whatever else that could be your your condition. And we talk about the general way that it happens. What are the components of the brain involved in that glitch, in that malfunction of the signaling system of the brain? Whether it's from the overactiveness of amygdala, whether it's about midbrain basal ganglia, striatum, the relationship between goal finding center and the reward finding center and the habit center, and the role of caudate nucleus in the striatum, and how these things are malfunctioning and how they're affecting your cognitive abilities, the repetitive thoughts and intrusive thoughts that show up, what to do with them. And we talk about use the expertise of the neuroscientists, neurosurgeons, such as Dr. Sperry, Dr. Penfield, Dr. Owens, Dr. Libet. And we talk about things to do with movements that you should do to rewire your brain through neuroplasticity, such as what Dr. Schwartz have come up with a long time ago, the 4 steps, famous 4 steps of Dr. Schwartz. And then, of course, you have your own psychologists, and you can ask them what to do in order to, if you want to do ERP or if you have to do CBT, and then to help your brain to get out of this glitch and get back to its default setting as you would wish it to be, just as before you got these OCD and OCD subsets to deal with. Now, in the meantime, let me see who do we have here on YouTube. Usually we are not scheduled to have a live stream on Wednesday nights, but hey, it's cold and I wanted to be home, make some tea and be cozy. Maybe we can help someone, summer run. And Belgian Christian is Toronto. All right, thank you for that. And remember, age, gender, where you're tuning in from. Otherwise, I won't answer your questions. Why? Because I need to know what stage of life you're in. That's your age. If you're a man, woman, or however your gender is signified. So I would know how to address you and at least a little background. And where you're tuning in from, the city or the country, will let me know a little bit about your cultural background. That'll help me know who I'm talking to and what kind of a perhaps avenue I can connect with you in regards to answering your question. And it says, encourage your viewers to share your live and invite your more friends. Okay, then consider it encouraged. And thank you for Leland that shared the live. And if you would all do that, the same will populate it pretty soon. And thank you for that reverse N joke. I don't know what how I to pronounce. You know how I didn't butcher it. Male 35, but where? Don't forget the location. That will help me about your cultural background. Emma Slay says, sad. Why are you sad, Emma? That's what we're here for. Why don't you sprach, spill it out? And something that I don't know what it is. It's a dash. It's followed the live creator. Thank you for that. T. Lee has joined. Pascal has joined. Ron Fleming joined. Thank you for joining, but don't forget about what I asked for. M for male, F for female, or however you signify your gender, age, and where you're tuning in from. Just like my YouTube friends, they all have these three little codes, gives me a little bit of information about themselves. Please don't forget that. I need that. Especially if you have a question, there would be no answer coming unless I have that. All right. If you got a question, fire up so we can start our discussion. Otherwise, I'll just go and make videos for you guys. You know, we have over 3,000 videos on YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is called The One Point, THE, next word, one, ONE, next word, point, POINT. The One Point. And of course, you can go on my channel's search engine and put in the word that describes whatever your concern may be and see what number of videos that come in. From the titles, you can see which one is most relevant or the ones that are relevant to you, and then you can watch them at your own pace. And all these videos are detailed and discussed, and there's no teaser there to sell you anything. It's all about the topic. And of course, if you needed to ask something, you can come to the live stream. Live streams are complimentary. And if you needed to be speaking with me in private and discuss your questions and concerns in more detail, you can go on my site, mindthatseekstruth.com. Mindthatseekstruth.com. You can find that link in my, I guess, what is it, profile or bio or whatever it is called. And you can make an appointment for us to chat on Skype and discuss what's concerning you one-on-one on Skype. For new clients, I will add half an hour to your 1 hour registered appointment, so we won't have to rush, and we'll discuss everything in detail and we'll get to know each other and we'll go from there. Now, having said that, let's see. Emma still says I'm sad, and I wonder why, Emma. You can talk what you like to talk here. And our YouTube friends are still humming and hooing to come up with a question. Usually Wednesday nights, we never have a live stream, perhaps. And somehow we don't get announcements going out when I have a live stream. And that's why our channel, instead of having 2 or 3 million subscribers, we have 28,000. And of course, when by the time you guys find the channel, you swear by it. You will see the content. But we are difficult to be found. I don't know, something I'm doing wrong in the tags of the channel or the videos. It's hard to be found. We're kind of lost in the sea of YouTube channels. Now, come on, guys, don't be shy. I don't bite. So fire up your questions. Christian says, do you believe in God? Well, I do believe in some kind of a creator, some energy, some nature. Some call it God, some call it nature, some call it universe, universal energy. There is an organization, there is an intelligence, there is a creator that I do believe. Now, whatever tickles your fancy, however avenue you want to get there, that's up to you. All religions are good. They're all meant for good. If it's been abused, well, that's on the person who's abusing the in the name of religions. Otherwise, they're mostly trying to keep the children, especially at their age, in the right path and answer things that the children cannot answer, or when you become an adult, you can't answer, and you can rely on this power that you may call God and whatever you may want to call it. And it will help you to connect yourself with the universe, the creator, the energy that binds us, goes through us, but you can control it. And that is what I believe. And let's see what we have here. Okay. And Ben Leon followed the live crew. Thank you for that. Kristen, everybody joins, but nobody has done what I've asked. Only one person. Include in your hello age, gender, where you're tuning in from. That's very important for us to know our demographics and to know a little bit about you. And Gary Ivan says, hey, buddy, hello there. Let me know your age, gender, and where you're tuning in from. I'd appreciate it. And don't be shy. Fire up a question. I'm here for that. And says, hi, I'm Gary Ivan, 27 from BC, Canada. Thank you for that. Very kind of you to give me that information. I appreciate that. Very thorough, very clear, and it's very kind of you. I expect everybody to do the same, especially if you have a question. If you don't have these information out there, your question will not, in my dismay, will not be answered. I gotta know who I'm talking to, especially I gotta know your age. If you're too young, then I gotta let you know that you're too young to be here, or perhaps you gotta have permission from your parents. And of course, I need to know your cultural background. Tells me a little bit about your, you know, your character or your background, and of course, your age helps me out too. And Gary says, I like the art on the walls. Okay, which one are you talking about? The horse and the colonel is jumping on it, or you're talking about me holding my son upside down when we're playing around in the dojo, the martial art dojo that he was working out since he was 4 year old. Which one are you talking about? Which art behind me? Or maybe you're talking about Kakarat, the on top of the frame of the painting, Dragon Ball Z. And Gary says all of them are great, but the horse one is very nice. Well, the horse one has a story. That's Colonel Leshati. He was a graduate of the military school of riding in Saumur, France. He was one of the top riders in the world. He was my main instructor. I was fortunate enough to be in his classes, and I did reach many championships in show jumping. He was a strict teacher. I loved him like a father. He's the only man that I ever said I loved him like my father, because my father was very special to me. We were very close. My father knew him. They were friends in a way. They knew each other, and he was a very good role model as I was growing up. And it's very important to have a good role model. Very strict, and we used to have like 340 horses all at the same time being trained, and he had us like I don't know, carnivorians in the in the sumo riding school. Very strict, very organized. Um, yeah, it was time. He's passed now. When I came to this country 44 years ago, I had this picture in black and white, in size of 4 centimeter by 4 centimeter. This big. That's it. This big. And I went to a Korean painter here in Georgia Street, and there was a studio. And as I was passing to go to my work, I would see that. So I decided that there were two pictures I wanted it to be drawn. One was my mother's picture, which was very small as well, when she was like 40 years old, very beautiful. My mother was very beautiful. She still is. She's 90 years old. And then Colonel's. So I took it to him and I said, "Can you draw these?" He said, "Yeah." And he drew them, oil painting. And this is Colonel. The horse's name is Ali Baba. And he's the brother of the horse that I won the championship in Iran. And that was a tough son of a bitch championship, the toughest I've seen anywhere in any competition on TV or whatever it was. It took about until, I don't know, 1:30 in the morning because we had 4 jump offs, 64 riders on that class. And I was the number 64. As I remember, 64, I was one of the ones who went clean. 32 people went clean first round. Fences went up. And these fences are not just a regular parkour that you would just jump over it and then you gallop to the next one. You had enough time to set the timer and set the pace and gather yourself and gather the horse and aim for it and poise for it. None of that. You know, you've seen competitions where they have 1 or 2 fences right after each other. So the horse has got to go up, come down, 1, 2, and up. And then when they would make this 3, it would be more difficult. Go up, down, 1, 2, up, down, 1, 2, jump. And if you miss a stride, you don't have space to maneuver between the 2 fences. You got to go start all over. And most often you drop them. And this particular competition, it wasn't 1, it wasn't 2, it wasn't 3. And the type of fence, if they're open and wide, your horse can jump from far and cross it. These things were all straight up. So the horse had to go underneath as far as it goes close to it and jump straight up and come down and then 1, 2, and then underneath, up, down. And how many of these we had? 3? No. 4? No. 5? No. 6 of them. The whole big, huge arena was diagonally set to house these 6. It was just one of the most difficult things for a horse and the rider to be so synchronized that no choice of deviation, straight through. Out of 64, I was number 64. 32 went clear. Fences went higher. All of them, all 6 of them, one at a time. And then out of 32, 24 went clear. I was number 24. Then we went higher. 12 went clear. I was the 12. Out of 12, 4 went clear. I was the 4th. And this thing was now bloody huge, the last one. And you had only 2 strides to make it from the one before it. It was, I think, about 170, the last one, close to 170, 165, 170, straight up. And any of these bars, you could hit it. 1 went clear. That was my horse. Me and my horse. We were just one, like one entity. There were no 2, just one energy. Completely synchronized that night. I remember it vividly. Ah, what a night. And the stadium was going crazy. Mehran. It was like a soccer field. 1:30 in the morning. But the photographer had gone already. I don't even have one picture of it, but it's all here. It was a beautiful night. We stayed up till 4 o'clock at Colonel's home, had tea, and we all talked. The riders were there, some of them. Anyhow, you shouldn't have asked, because it took about so much time to explain that. I hope you enjoyed it anyhow. Something to talk about. You guys haven't come up with any questions anyhow, so here it is. We filled our. Gary says, "Wow, beautiful story behind the art. I love it." Yeah, it's an amazing thing. So but Colonel is passed many years ago. I think my son was 5 when he passed. Makes it like 28 years ago. 28 years ago. My whole childhood was with horses and show jumping and training. How many horses we rode and trained. And then after that, A month later, we went to another province in Iran, and with the same horse, but the horse was taken to that province 800 kilometers away from the capital with the army trucks because it was part of the army unit that they were taking these horses. And the truck didn't have enough bouncy springs. So when we got there, and it was big competition there, and Jean-Michel Gault at the time was a gold medalist, and his partner from France was one of the two competitors that had come for that, and they received the top horses of the Royal Horse Society. And they honored them. They gave them the top horses. They didn't bring their own horses. So, and then I went with my own horse, which was brother of this horse, and he was acting like I'd never seen. He was rearing up. He didn't want to go. All his hands were probably pressed because of this long road and not enough springs on the tire on the truck. So we got disqualified in the first round, and then Colonel said, "Go get Blackjack." Blackjack was a little horse. It was like a pony, but had a heart of gold. That thing was a ferocious animal. So small. Said, "Go get on it. I'll register you for that too." So, and here I was, a champion of the whole nation a month ago. I got disqualified with that same horse. So I got on Blackjack. Blackjack belonged to Mrs. Sami, and she was gracious enough to allow the horse to come with us. And so the horse was so small that my legs were hanging out. However, we went through the parkour and two jump offs or one jump off. So first round, everybody messed up other than the two French riders, Jean-Michel Gault and his friend, and me, and with this little horse. I went diagonal in a moon shape, and my leg was hanging that hit the fence. My leg, not the horse, because I was going diagonal to save time. And then at the last one, it was the wall that the Blackjack kicked one of them. So we became third at the jump up. We were clear on the other two rounds. So those two were the best horses, one or two, and then I was with this little horse as number three. But hey, we beat everybody else, that's for sure. So it was another lovely story. That was a very elaborate and elegant setting. We all had our rooms. All the riders had their rooms in special, beautiful, newly built hotels. It was pretty posh arrangement there. So there it is. That was the chaser for you, Gary, Ivan. Enjoy. Now we have our YouTube friends, and Kosar Star says, "Hello, Master." Hello there. Don't forget your protocol, gender, age, and where you're tuning in from. And we have 1R3U says, "Hello, sir. Male 22, Assam. Ah, the land of tea. Welcome." So let's see if we finally will have a question or two here. Otherwise, are you here for me to tell you stories of my youth? Is that why you're here? Kasar Sears, male 24, Kurdistan. Oh my goodness. How far away is it? Are you on the Turkish side or Iraq side or Iran side in Kurdistan? I think, it's a place where these three countries meet, and there are three different parts to Kurdistan, no? So let me know, which part are you? All right. And Kosar says Iraq side. Okay. Don't call me master. I'm just not. I'm student. Student, life student. So do we have any question tonight, or am I just telling stories, guys? What's happening? It's story night, is it? And Jordan is from, I couldn't read the flag. Jonathan is, you see, I can't connect with you guys because none of you tell me where you're from, how old you are, what your gender is. It's all names. It just says joined. and I don't know really anything about it. So we're not connecting. If that's how you like it, then there it is. All right. The only one was talking to me was Gary, and Gary is gone, I guess. Guys, this is not a lecture. If you have a question, fire it up. We'll talk about it. Talking about thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, ego, talking about breakups, what the role of your inner movement for the psyche is after breakup, how you can move on, and what you should be focusing. Ask a question in regards to those, or in regards to OCD and OCD subsets. You may ask that as well. What is this red banner that comes on? It says something. I never get to read it. Is it an advertisement for somewhere, or is it something happening to this channel? Don't forget to like the program if you like it. I don't know. You haven't asked any question to see if you like it or not, but nevertheless, if you would push the like, I would appreciate it. The algorithm will recognize us a little bit better, and perhaps we'll be able to reach more people and help more people. 1R32 says, "Sir, I have a question, all right?" Says, "I'm doing a project management course, and halfway through it, I always knew management is not my thing, but I took the course regardless. A few days ago, I butchered a presentation. That's all right. That's part of management, because now you know how it is to butcher a presentation. Now you know how it is to prepare for it better. Now you know how it is to be nervous or anxious. Now you know how it is to deal with it. So these are all part of learning. You're not supposed to be being perfect when you're trying to learn something. If you were perfect, you wouldn't take that course. If you're a perfect soccer player, you wouldn't go and try to take a course of soccer. Hmm? You'd go to championship, right? So there's nothing wrong with it. And he says, now I'm confused and don't know what to do. Nothing, continue on. What happens if you're in a marathon run or any kind of a long distance run, and 1,000 meter into it, you stumble and you fall? What are you going to say? I don't know what to do. No, get up, shake it off, keep running. That's it. The goal is still the same. The distance is the same. You still haven't completed, and the task is still incomplete, unfinished. Same thing with you. You still want to learn the management, what it goes through, whether you want to take a job in management or not, doesn't matter. You got to know about it. So you're taking that for now. You messed up one or two or three projects, who cares? You learn things from it. Even if you fail the course, I don't give a shit. You learn something in there. You have an idea what it is. And I guarantee if you take it again, you will do far better. And even if you don't take it again, you've learned so much that you never expected. So this is part of learning. You're not supposed to be shining and to show off. You're there to learn. Part of learning is to fall. How do you think? I always won championships. I never fell from the horse. You fall, you stumble, the horse knocks the fence. You learn how to calculate, how to pull the horse together, how to put him together, how to round it up, how to let it go, how to open it up. All these things are experience. So you're experiencing. That's perfectly fine. And he says, now I'm confused and don't know what to do. How do I choose a career better? No, 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 no. Just because you failed on this particular, didn't do as good as you expected, it doesn't mean you failed or you don't, you have to choose something else. Says, I got absolutely chewed on by the teacher. That's all right. The teacher, if he chewed you, it's two reasons. One, the teacher is an asshole, just gets high on chewing students, or the teacher is actually very good and trying to chew you to give you a lesson that you should be paying attention to these things, and next time do better, because you'll remember teacher's poison. And you will do better. You'll pay attention to certain things. Number one thing that you probably reason that you messed up is because you were nervous. And I teach you a trick that you'll never ever be nervous again when you want to present something to a crowd, whether it's a project or it's the speech or whatever. You'll be comfortable. Two things you can do. Number one, there are two breathing systems in us. Pre-Butzinger complex is the name of the system that allows you to breathe normally. Rhythm, normal breathing, long or short, doesn't matter. Pre-Butzinger complex is allowing you to do that. And breathing is involuntarily. I mean, it's just happens by itself automatically. What I mean is automatic. Now, the other system of breathing that we have is parafacial nuclei. Now, parafacial nuclei is just the name of another system of breathing. It doesn't matter what their name is. It's just that they're two different systems. One allows you to breathe normally, pre-Butzinger complex, and the other one allows you to manipulate the normal breathing, even if you're not sitting still or you're not calmly walking. Like if you're crying or if you're laughing, you can still breathe. It allows you to manipulate it so the air intake and outtake will continue. Like that allows you to still get that breathing in while you're in such a mode of laughing or crying. Now, this allows you to do this, what I'm trying to show you. When you're anxious or you're nervous before a speech or before whatever it is that you want to go, and you, for some reason, who knows, you're just anxious of anxiety. This is what you do. You take one breath in and you take one on top of it before you exhale. You hold for a few seconds, then you let it out from your nose or from your mouth slowly. When you finish, you breathe normally again. This is how it's going to look. One more time. One more time. You'll be so calm. You're so connected to the universe. You feel so supported. Nothing shakes you. You don't give a shit about anything. You're relaxed like a clam. All anxieties are gone. If you would be here in front of me, you would feel the energy is changed. And you can do that by yourself right now, or I hope you did it with me. You can see clearly. Everything is clears out. Anxiety is a thought-based driven disorder. Once you do this, thoughts exit the consciousness. There would be no thoughts. All through this exercise, there is no thoughts. And it gives the brain an opportunity to be empty. All negativity, all anxiety, all thoughts are driven out. Non-existence. You're pure, connected with the universe. And the original nature, like when you're born, there's no dividing line between you and the universe, all one and the same, because the energy is having a proper conflux between the universe and you. No obstacles. That's when you feel so relaxed. The reason you have anxiety and tension is because there's an obstacle between the energy that is flowing outwardly and coming in from the universe and other shitty energies around interfering as well. When you do this, your frequency of the brain is just focused on one energy. There's no interference, no capacitor, no change in quality of energy. It's just one. No thought whatsoever. You become free. Because thoughts are the roots of problems. When you do this, there are no thoughts. When there are no thoughts, there are no problems. Only when there's thoughts, there are problems. Of course, there are solutions too by thoughts, but we're talking about when you want to have no problems, you got to get the thoughts out. And how you get the thoughts out? Not by eliminating them on purpose, by simply focusing on becoming one with the energy that flows throughout the universe. And you become one with that energy, automatically, naturally stops making thoughts. That's when you become perfectly pure, one with the energy of the universe. And in that, there is no fear, there is no anxiety, there is no ripple. It's all smooth, one and the same. No dividing line between you and the nature, all one. So that's what you do. The other thing is when you're actually doing this seminar or presentation and you feel a little disturbance in the force, imagine everybody in their underwears. And you look at them, all of them. You start laughing at how ridiculous they all look. All these, with the tie and suit and the jackets and everything else, and all their posturing and the glasses and all that. You imagine them all in their underwears, and you start laughing at how ridiculous these characters are, and they think they're somebody. And suddenly you realize that you're there to present something to them. They cannot judge you because you researched it more, or at least they're there to listen to you. You've put yourself in a position that you won't feel inferior and you'll feel great. So, hope that's helpful to you. And now, who else do we have? Let's see if we have any question from our TikTok friends. Uh-huh. And Life of Della says, broke up with my girlfriend. All right. That happens. Shit happens. Don't worry about it. She's not the last woman on earth. The Little Prince says, would you agree that we have greater imagination when we were younger compared to older? We had a more of a naturally occurring imagination when we were younger because that's where we would play in our consciousness. We were pure. We would create stories because there were not so much shit in our head and we didn't have to deal with so much garbage to occupy our brain. Our brain was ready and free to play. It wanted to occupy itself. It didn't have shit in there to be occupied by. So we would create something. What would we create? Happy stories, imagination, just to make the brain feel active and make ourselves amused. It was a beautiful time when we were younger. But when we were older, our imagination quality and the fields of imagination are different. Many of them are focused on inventing something, coming up with ideas, marketing schemes, and things to do with kind of helping us with our responsibilities and duties in order to provide or make money or be successful in some kind of endeavor. So it's a different quality and different purpose. And Biggest Leaf followed the live create. Thank you for that. Lee joined. Remember, guys, all of you are joining, and I appreciate that. But remember, I asked you if you would kindly include when you say hello or whatever it is when you join, write something. Age, Gender, male, M for male, F for female, or however you use to signify your inclination or gender. It'll give me some idea about who are you, what stage of life you are, and if you're male or female, and how old are you, where are you in life, and then where you're tuning in from. That gives me a little bit cultural background about you. So I get to know where this question is coming from. How far out is this? Which country is it? What culture they have? And then I can address you better and then customize the response to your question according to your information that you gave me. Otherwise, I don't know anything about you guys. So, will you kindly, graciously do that? Now, so we go back to YouTube. Star says, what if I have false attraction to anyone? So what can I do in this situation? Well, there is a video I have, a number of videos on my YouTube channel, talks about false attraction. And it specifically is made for that. It'll do a better job than if I want to repeat it here because it's longer and it's more detailed rather than turning into one-on-one. So please go on my site, which you are right now after the live stream, and key in false, the word false, or attraction, the word attraction, or false attraction. Either one of the three, any of the three, will give you a number of videos come out. Then you'll choose the one that you want to watch, and it'll explain to you. And it says, what if I have false attractions? So what can I do in this situation and how to handle? Okay, I explained that to you, and you can watch those videos and help you out. Now, Kosar Star says, I have never been on a date with girl, but now I want to go in. What your advice for me before I go in? Nothing. Go there to get to know her. Don't go there with any agenda that I want to get into her pants, that I want to kiss her, I want to touch her, I want to hold her, all these garbage that we at that age may be thinking that going out with the girl is. Actually, I didn't, because I always somehow thought girls are better than us. It was very full of respect. At the same time, I was a romantic. I would fall in love with every one of them. Bang, bang, bang. So when you're in love, you don't have a certain abusive or self motivated thoughts toward the girl. You just want to make her feel comfortable. You just want to kind of protect her or serve her or make her feel good. So this should be your agenda. You just want to be there to make her feel safe, to make her feel good, speak the things that are interesting to her. You want to get to know her. Let her talk. Let her explain what she likes, what she doesn't, how her life is. Share stories, life stories. Don't use her as your psychologist and don't tell her I've never been out with anyone. Just be there as a friend to enjoy, maybe enjoy a meal, enjoy a teacup, talk about, I don't know, whatever it is. I don't know what your age is. I don't remember, because you guys got to let me know at every question your age, gender, and where you're tuning from. It reminds me, so I will have that um, vector. But anyhow, you know, talk with her, see what she likes, what she doesn't, get to know her story about her life, share experiences, just just going out to have fun without any sexual intention. Let her feel that you are interested in her as a person. And then if in the future you guys became interested in each other's biology and, aesthetics and physical interest, well, that will describe itself. The opportunity will arise for both of you, and then you guys will act according to your preference and consent. But in the meantime, you're just going there to make her feel good, have a good time, and be cordial, a gentleman. Simple. Now, 1R32 says, that is correct, sir. I'm just trying to learn things. Yes, I did it along with you. Good. Definitely calmed me down a bit. I will try it next time. I have a presentation. Thanks, Coach. You're quite welcome. And it doesn't have to be when you have a presentation. You can do it any day, any time of day, anywhere, one, two, or three times, and suddenly things change. And and he likes the second suggestion as well. And Star says, when I think himself or imagination about my HOCD related thoughts, it feels I want this thought. And I'm like, yes, that's what HOCD does. And I have a video that says why you feel you want the thought or you're the one who made the thought. There's a video of that. Again, if you just key in HOCD, there will be like 500 videos or more comes out. You can see the titles. Or if you put in something like um, I want the thought or want the thought, and you will see something close to what you're asking will come out. And then you watch that video. So this is also HOCD. I'm not take assurance, but I want to know this Yeah, this is exactly what HOCD is. HOCD has affected the brain to a disorder that is now intrusive thoughts having their way. Now, with the same brain that is in the glitch of HOCD, the glitch of OCD subset, you're trying to actually analyze and determine and come to a conclusion about if this is or not, this or that. The brain is already in the glitch. You can't use the same broken gadget to actually measure what you want to measure because it's going to give you the wrong reading anyhow. It's like you have a broken gadget to check the tire pressure of your car. But because its name is gadget, even though it's not giving you the right reading, and you know that, but you're still going to use it, well, it's going to give you the wrong reading. Your brain is in the glitch of HOCD, OCD subset, HOCD. And with the same brain that is in the disorder, you're trying to figure out if what it's suggesting is actual or it's just the illusion. Well, Jesus. It believes that it is actual, so it's going to convince you that it's actual because the whole apparatus of the brain is already fucked up right now. You need to help it to come back to the default setting and then ask it questions to give you an accurate reading. And I have a video on that as well. There's no channel that has more scenarios of HOCD than my channel and detailed explained. Enjoy it. Just, it'll help you to understand this. And the first thing you want to do, you got to understand that you're not the brain and brain is not you. And despite what Aristotle said 1,000 years ago in philosophical point of view, modern science, neuroscience, neurosurgeons have now proven that what he was talking about was correct. You're not the brain and brain is not you, but they have now used neuroscience to prove it. And I have many videos that I've used quantum physics and I've used the nature of the brain and how it works and the discussions of what is thoughts, where it comes from, and the relationship between thoughts and consciousness, and so on and so forth. And I have brought it all together and presented to you for you to understand you're not the brain, you're outside of the brain. Brain is a different apparatus. The awareness is you. The brain is an apparatus, an organ, like your liver, like your kidney, and it malfunctions like your intestines. Your intestine gets diarrhea. You never question that, oh, maybe I've always wanted diarrhea. Maybe my intestine's normal function is diarrhea. No, you know that it's something wrong, and you seek remedy. But when it comes to your, any other organ, you feel the same thing, like, liver and kidney, you try to remedy, go to doctor, figure, because you know there's something wrong. But when it comes to your brain, you think, oh, maybe I've always been this. Jesus, brain is also another organ. It also fucks up. So you got to help it. Your awareness recognizes the conflict and division. Your awareness recognizes the contradiction between your values and what the brain is suggesting. The fact that you feel the contradiction, they say, what is this? Why is this? Where does it come from? Why is it? That itself means you're aware that the brain is making up something that is not in line with your values, that you're not what the brain suggests. Why? Because there is a contradiction. There is no awareness if there is no contradiction. And because there is a contradiction, there is an awareness. So your awareness says, what does that mean? That's uncomfortable. That's not my choice. Awareness, because there's a contradiction. When there's a contradiction, you know that's not you. So the whole thing has proven scientifically, philosophically, you're not the brain, brain is not you. Once you understand this, it's the first step to go on and get back and rewire your brain through neuroplasticity using techniques, ERP, Dr. Schwartz four-step, and stuff that we've talked about in the videos, and you'll get back to your default setting. All right. Yes, yes, yes. And it is very important for you to understand this nature of the brain and this malfunction in the brain. Otherwise, because, and listen to this, guys, very carefully. If you want to understand how to deal with OCD and substantive OCD, listen very carefully. You don't hear these other places. I guarantee you, so many years of research have gone and thinking and ability to deliver it to you is very simply is put together. Why you want to understand this as soon as you can when you are hitting OCD? Why you want to understand you're not the brain and brain is not you? Because if you don't, then you got to understand this concept. In midbrain, basal ganglia, there is a place called the striatum. In the striatum, there's three centers. One center is reward finding center. I'm sorry, one center is goal finding center. That's when you have a obsession about some kind, and then you do the compulsion. The compulsion is that goal finding, because you have an obsession about something, you want a remedy, you want a solution. And the compulsion to you at the time seems to be what you would be seeking to do to complete the circuit of the obsession and compulsion. Now, let's say you feel your hands are dirty, even though it's not dirty. You just feel it's dirty. That's an obsession. The compulsion would be to go wash your hands, because then the compulsion make you feel comfortable that I did the compulsion for the obsession, and now I feel, you know that they say, oh, you wash your hands. Okay, it's good. Sometimes you wash it 2 or 3 times. Now, the first center, goal finding center, has been satisfied. You did the compulsion for the obsession. Now, when you say, the second center, which these three centers right on top of each other in the striatum, the second center, reward finding, reward center, is now secreting dopamine because you did something that caused you to feel good. Something good is happening, a comfort, a safety. And for that reason, the second center, reward center, secretes the good feeling of something good has happened, dopamine. And while you're doing the compulsion, washing your hands because of the obsession, you're stimulating the second center, reward center, to get the dopamine. And because dopamine is addictive, when you do it like 200 times, no longer you're doing it for the obsession. You're doing the compulsion for the obsession. You're actually doing it to get the dopamine because you're not addicted to dopamine. So it's two reasons for you now to do the compulsion, the obsession, and to get the dopamine. And every time that you're doing this, while the dopamine is secreted, at the same time, the habit center, the third circle, is also stimulated. So whenever you do the compulsion for the obsession, both other two centers, reward center and habit center, are stimulated, but they're not showing their effects until you do a few more times. You get addicted to the second center, the reward center, dopamine center. So now you're doing it for the obsession and getting the dopamine. You do the compulsion. But at the same time, the reward center, the habit center, is also being stimulated. to the point that after 1,000 times doing this and getting the dopamine, no longer you're doing the compulsion washing hand for the obsession or for the dopamine. You're doing it because your habit, and you don't even realize it. Just as Professor Grable and Grable from MIT was pioneering the concept of cluster of actions to the brain is only one action. The brain doesn't recognize there's so many actions are happening that you're doing. It only does it as one action because it's habit. Dr. Schwartz explains that if you actually see a man go to a store and pay for a package of cigarette and then open the cellophane wrap and then tear up part of the package and pull one cigarette out, put it on his lips and flick a fire 2 inches from his face, and then you go and ask him, sir, do you understand, do you recognize they just paid for a package of cigarette? You open it, you tear it apart, you put it here and put fire 2 inches of your face. He says, no, I just know that I'm smoking. I just know that I'm smoking. So he thinks it's only one action that he's done when there were so many cluster of actions involved in order to be smoking, because it's his habit. The habit doesn't let you recognize what the hell you're doing this. You're just doing it because you feel you got to do it. That's why you want to hit the HOCD and OCD subsets much sooner that it becomes your habit to have intrusive thoughts, to constantly think negatively, to constantly believe the brain, and all these that makes it worse to get out of it. Your knowledge about you're not the brain, brain is not you. Your knowledge about the striatum and the three centers, compulsion, obsession, compulsion, and the dopamine center, reward center, and the habit center. All these knowledge will help you to recognize what this beast is all about. And the fact that caudate nucleus in the striatum is a lever that is responsible to shut down the intrusive thoughts, and it's malfunctioning. That's why the intrusive thoughts, when they show up, usually they're shut down because it works. But when it doesn't work, they hover. Prefrontal cortex says, what the fuck? Why is it not disappearing? Oh, then you say, it must mean something. It must know something I don't know. Or I must have always been like this. I wanted to be. I'm in denial. All that shit comes up, and you, who have no inclination, no interest in that kind of a lifestyle or choice, you are under the belief of something that is illusory due to the fact that you didn't educate yourself about the malfunction of the signaling system of the brain. And that's the step one, to be able to help your brain. You're responsible for your organs, you're responsible for your apparatuses. And when the brain is malfunctioning, you're responsible to help it. Your awareness helps the brain to rewire itself through neuroplasticity and come back to its default setting. Now, there you go. And Star says, thank you, sir. You're quite welcome. Yes. Says, sir, one more last question. Can HOCD send feelings of romantic attraction? Of course it does. That's what HOCD is. Where have you been? And so now, follow live creator, biggest leaf fan. Okay. And listening to people, Lapsy. Okay. Join. So all of you TikTok friends, I appreciate you being here. Please make sure to like the program, if you will. And none of you, other than two or three of you, have listened to my request, which was please introduce yourself by way of letting me know your age, gender, when you're tuning in from. Like we have friends here from, I don't know, anywhere in the world. They say M for male, 27, France, or F for female, and 32, Germany. Whatever it is, your inclination, however you signify it, you put that alphabet and help me to realize how your inclination is, then your age and where you're tuning in from. That helps me to know a little bit about you. None of you do that on TikTok. What's wrong with you? All right. It's been 1 hour exactly, pretty much, that we've been here. So it's time for me to close the store. Verify to continue. Yes, verify to continue. What is it? I got to verify to continue. All right. All right. Now, so it's time for me to say I love you all. Thank you very much for being here, giving the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. I look forward to our next live stream. Please like the live stream if you will, if you enjoyed what we had to offer tonight. And please check my YouTube channel, The One Point, The One Point. And of course, if you like to have an appointment with me, discuss what's concerning you one-on-one on Skype, you can go on my site, mindthatseekstruth.com. Mindthatseekstruth.com. And for 1 hour registration, I will usually, for the newcomers, add another half an hour on me. We'll have an hour and a half to get to know each other and have no rush and in detail discuss what's concerning you one-on-one on Skype. I look forward to our next live stream. In the meantime, be good to yourself and to the others, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Subscribe on my channel, visit my channel, and go through the videos that you might be interested in. Mindthatseekstruth.com is making it one step away to talk to me one-on-one on Skype and discuss what's concerning you. I'll talk to you soon.